All right, so this part could be a little tricky, drawing hair from an angle, because how hair looks from the front view is really easy to imagine. How it looks from the side view is pretty easy to imagine as well. But from the angle view, it's kind of more difficult to imagine. How much of this hair do you see? How much of that bun do you see, and so forth. Hopefully, the different hairstyles I showed you, I chose those hairstyles purposely to teach some very important lessons about hair and how it changes from that 3/4 view. Now, there are so many different wild hairstyles out there that you can draw, and you want to have to maybe make a clay model or something like that, or quick just 3D basic parts, like take that studio and use basic cylinders and stuff to kind of build up that hairstyle and see what would be visible from the 3/4 view. I even have to do that sometimes when a hairstyle is really complicated. I drew this one character that had like her hair braided up, and it was you obviously use some type of wire or something to do this, but the hair is braided up to look like a butterfly. And I'm like, how does that look, when she's in 3/4 view? How much of that wing am I going to see and so forth? I could just, wing it, but I wanted it to look right. And so that's something I did, is went ahead and went to 3D program, designed just a very basic model of it, and then turned it in different views, and then memorized those views in my head, what I can see and can't see. And I'm like, oh, okay, now it makes sense. I pretty much had it right, but, I was off a little bit. So it's good to make sure you get accurateness. That way you instill the accurateness into your brain the first time. I've learned that lesson the hard way. So now anytime I try to learn something new, I always make sure I put the work in, learn it right the first time. That way my brain doesn't have to unlearn bad habits. All right, so you did it. You're here. You're at the end of the course. And I hope that you've learned a whole bunch, and I hope you put the work in, because there's going to be two different kinds of artists. There's going to be those, they're just going to go off and freehand. They're not going to listen to the advice. And that's fine. Hopefully they'll stick with it, and they'll learn the hard way, and eventually they'll get there. There'll be those that go, you know what? I'm going to listen to Neil, and I'm going to put the work in right now. And I'm going to keep putting the work in. I'm going to measure, I'm going to measure, I'm going to measure until my faces look good. You're going to be the person that learns super fast. And in no time, after you put all that work in, it might take you a few months, everyone's different. You're going to be drawing faces in your sketchbook, and they're going to look good. And you're going to be drawing comic book faces, and you're going to be ahead of everyone else because you took the time to put the work in. And they're going to be, posting pictures going, what's wrong with my face? How come it's not right? And I'm going to be like, well, the measurements are wrong, or proportions are all wrong. If the fundamentals are wrong, then they didn't put the work in, right? So put the work in, make sure the fundamentals are correct before you try to draw, a beautiful eye. Make sure that you can draw a beautiful template of the face from the front view, side view, and 3/4 view. All right, so that's it. Go ahead for this exercise. Don't just draw a bunch of hairstyles from the 3/4 view. Draw a bunch of faces from every view we've learned in the entire course. Start even trying to draw them up and down. Once you have the front view, the side view, and the basic quarter view down for different types of faces and different hairstyles, then start tilting the head just a little bit, have it tilted down a little bit here from the front view. Have just a slight 3/4 view where you can still see a lot of the face over here, so it hasn't been foreshortened much, and have it slightly tilted up or slightly tilted down. Make sure when you're doing this, if you have to, look at a 3D program or take a picture of yourself, have someone take a picture of you or of somebody else. Look at, different pictures on magazines, whatever you have to do to make sure that you're doing it correctly. What part of the planes of the nose and stuff are you seeing when the face is slightly up? What are you seeing when the face is slightly down? All that stuff's really important to make sure you get down and get it accurate. But having this, foundation, the side view, the 3/4 view, and the front view, that foundation is the solid foundation that you need before you can move on. Those have to look good and have to look pretty. Besides, those are going to be the faces used most often anyway. Of course, they might be, slightly up or slightly down like this, but they're going to be the most important faces to learn. Having just slight alterations is the easy part. Once you put this work in and learn this, then everything else becomes super easy. Trust me, this is the hardest part. Once you get past this, everything else will come just easy and naturally. You'll just do a little bit of study. Next thing you know, you're just drawing all kinds of faces from all kinds of angles from imagination. And hey, if you haven't already, and you want to be able to also draw the entire figure, I have a few different courses to choose from. One would be, anatomy, my anatomy course. So just go ahead and check out my courses. And it's anatomy for figure drawing. That one is an excellent course. It's really, really great detail. But if you don't want such a long course, but you still want to learn everything, believe it or not, I actually have a condensed anatomy course, where it's a part of anatomy contained within my course, how to draw anime bodies and people. Within that course, I have about a 2.5 hour, I think it's 2.5 hour long, somewhere around there. And it's a condensed version of anatomy. It teaches you all the muscles, where they go, everything, all the stuff you need to know. Basically, it takes all information in my anatomy course that's like 60 hours long, and it condenses it in 2.5 hours. Now, of course, it can't contain everything the other course has because it's condensed down, but it is a quick crash course that I guarantee will get you drawing figures better than you ever had before. And so just because it's called anime, it's not just for anime, it's for anything. Anime is just one style, and that's the main style I focus on. But the fundamentals I teach in that course are the same fundamentals you need for drawing anything. We're drawing regular comics, we're drawing realism, so forth. All right, thank you for watching this course, and I hope to see you in my future courses. All right, so bye.